Guys, I hate to admit it, we missed one. I try to watch a lot of the top recruits, a lot of the top running backs, and I thought we were good for 2026. Just let some of these senior years play out. Maybe we have some kids that step up. We missed one. We missed Amari Latimer, currently committed to Wisconsin. His recruitment's starting to heat up. This kid's good. We should have watched him this summer. It's on me. We're going to follow him going forward. This kid's a hell of a running back. We're going to watch him right now. 6', 215 from Sandy Creek in Georgia. You guys let me know what you think about him. Any other players that I missed, Let's try to get some underrated kids, some kids that people aren't talking about yet. Amari Latimer starting to get into these conversations a bit more, dude. 6', 215 as a junior in high school is a very good frame. This dude just runs through arm tackles. Very physical running back. Not only what he's been gifted by God, but this guy runs with a lot of intention. We're going to watch some clips here where, at the next level, we might ask him to cut it, but he just kind of goes out his way to do this kind of stuff. Oh! I heard, dude, I feel bad for whatever number this was, number 2 here. I felt that one. We're going to see that throughout this tape. So when I first watched this 30 seconds through, I was like, all right, we got a pretty good back, pretty good long speed, really physical. This guy's not really that respected by 24/7 yet. He's probably going to have some change of direction issues. I don't see that with him. We're going to watch this tape as it develops. He's going to make a lot of really clean cuts in the open field. And then after that, I started paying attention to some of the blocking schemes, right? We're probably watching a guy in a lot of power schemes, probably not being asked to do a whole lot of reading. Probably not going to be a guy that we feel good about the vision or the patience yet. Again, that's not the case with Amari Latimer. I don't know how I missed this dude. Because we're going to watch him in a lot of these zone reads here. He does a really good job pressing that A gap and then cutting it back when it's there. Dude, this guy's so well-rounded. I don't really know what else 24/7 wants to see out of him to kind of give him that 4th star. In his defense, I do think he's a 4th star on the composite, 3-star on the non-composite, whatever. At the end of the day, the star ratings don't matter. If you're a good football player, you're going to play pretty early at the next level. This dude's physically developed there. To me, maybe I'm overrating the athleticism, but I think the long speed looks good enough. We're going to see the change of direction in a little bit. He's just not a guy that's going to really break your ankles where he's hitting you with 2 or 3 juke moves in the open field. He's a guy that's going to make that one cut really efficiently, put his shoulder down, and just run through you. Dude, this kid's a really, really good running back already. Currently committed to Wisconsin. They got a good one committed in their 26 class. I know a lot of other schools. And we're going to see him play some defense here. If I was looking at him with these long arms at 6', 215, and you didn't tell me this guy was a running back, if I just saw him, on the field, I'd probably think he was a linebacker the way he's built. But really physical running. Look at this move. Dude, I'm telling you, when I got to this part in the film here, I was not expecting to see this because this is really nice stuff from a guy that's 215 pounds. He doesn't move like he's 215 pounds. Physical runner, athletic, I don't really know what else you want to see from him. Just in a straight line also. I said before he's not a guy that's going to make those cuts in the open field and, really break your ankles with 2 or 3 jukes that he can string together. It's good when he can do that, dude. I like watching Savion Hyder because he can do that. Javion Osborne, he can do that. Harlem Berry, they can do that. But I will tell you, it's a bit more efficient with these guys that don't do that because they just put their foot in the ground and get upfield. When you're running in a straight line, it takes 1 yard to gain 1 yard. If you're running diagonal, you kind of have to run a bit more to just gain 1 yard. We don't see that with Latimer. This dude's just foot in the ground, upfield. He hits the holes when they're there. He can hit the cutback. He's athletic enough to do that. He's athletic enough to make one cut at the second level and get upfield. There's a lot to like, I think, with Amari Latimer. And his recruiting's starting to heat up. I think that this is a guy that's going to have a bit more respect by the recruiting services, rivals on 324/7 as his senior year progresses because, the junior year film's really good. Don't really know what you could knock him for here. You might say he doesn't have that top-level breakaway speed. I think the long speed's good enough where when it's there, he can hit a home run. This is the one thing that you might hear these recruiting websites talk about is this right here. Might want to see that be a home run at the next level. They're just going to say he doesn't have the top end 40 time. But I think that he gives you too much physically. I think he gives you too much as a zone runner because we see that even athletically to really care about the 40 time. Look at these cuts in the second level. they're just very subtle, you know. It doesn't take a whole lot for him to change his direction, I think. That's what I like about him. A lot to like with Amari Latimer. You know, dude, I'm having a hard time turning this off because he's such a good football player. You guys let me know what you think about him. I'm very curious to hear other people's opinions on him. I mean, if I'm wrong, please tell me why. Like, if you don't think this guy's one of the top talents, you know, I'm not going to go ahead and tell you he's the best running back in this 26 class. He's pretty damn well-rounded, and he does everything pretty well. You guys let me know what you think about him. Thanks for watching.